Hi, this is Tony Corbo,
And this is Michael Borowski.
and we're here talking again about the More Than Meets the Eye comic series by IDW. This week we've read issues 4 and 5. Broski, how you liking it?
I'm still liking it. I'm honestly been surprised at how good a Transformer series is or can be.
So when we left off last time, Tailgate wanted to be a Decepticon. Do you want to talk about that story thread first?
Yeah, which one thing I find it interesting what they did because everyone talked about it and was like, oh shit, he wants to become a Decepticon on a ship full of Autobots. We should go talk to him and talk him out of this.
But then there's like the freedom of choice and the war being over, and it's like, should we tell him not to if that's what he really wants?
To me, that didn't really seem like it was a thing brought up too much. It was like, oh, well, he also can't really become a Decepticon because you need Megatron or, what do they call it, the Enclave.
Yeah, either them or I'm assuming the DJD, who we'll learn about in a chapter or two. We'll probably get to that next time.
I mean, they are brought up in 4. We can just kind of cliff notes hit them.
And we'll get to that bit in a sec, but so I do love the scene where Tailgate, they're putting the history of what the war in his head, and Rodimus says, "This is Autobot, and this is Decepticon." And like over the minute he's in there, his hand like slowly just crushes the Decepticon one and says, "Like Jesus Christ, you've made your point. I get it."
Yeah, to me, that's one thing I wasn't crazy about because if you can also look at it from an outside perspective, it's like, oh, let's just beam straight propaganda into his head.
That is like
Or
to a
to me, it
point.
seemed like it could just be they're beaming one-sided history because that's their history and what they feel is right, which is with the limited history I know is probably the more moral and good side, but morals are just side of a coin.
Well, that's why I feel kind of bad for how Cyclonus treated him. Like Cyclonus should have known how this whole thing was going to play out, and he was still a dick to Tailgate afterwards too.
Yeah, I mean, he could have had more of an arguing point for his side, like, oh hey, there's there's more to it than just us bad, them good.
Yeah, but Cyclonus isn't technically Decepticon either, so it's a little complicated even from that point of view.
Alright.
So we kind of left off there with the whole he goes back to Cyclonus in these 2 issues, yells at him, and then Cyclonus just kind of beats him on the floor. And then Tailgate just wants to be an Autobot, and there's a bunch of funny scenes with him having to go through all of the Autobot code with Ultra Magnus.
Yes. That is that honestly I like their interactions. It was like, yes, you'll have to read the whole 10,000 pages of the
Does
Autobot
everyone have to do
manual.
that? No, but people I make Autobots do. And he's like, shit.
He's like, 10,000 pages? Yes, 10,000 pages. 10,000? Yes.
10,000?
It's like, we're going to go over every line, sentence, period, punctuation,
Semicolon.
semicolon, anything. And then, after all those weeks of doing that, you might even have fun? Says Tailgate to him. Like, yes, that's the word.
I
Honestly,
can't say it,
love that.
but
Love that line. Or love that little bit.
mostly because it's said by a really big, like, intimidating robot too.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the A story of these. Ratchet goes to what was the planet called?
Delphi.
Delphi. Ratchet goes to Delphi. And what did you think of that storyline?
I will admit, I did get pretty confused just because they threw some new characters and
They all look very similar.
they do look very similar, and then it's just like, what am I supposed to? How am I supposed to tell these people apart when they're showing them from like the corner of the room?
To be fair, one guy had like a blue visor, one guy had wings, and one guy had neither of those two.
Yeah, once you like could actually go back, and I could have probably went back and looked at when they introduced everyone and picked out those details, but just kind of reading through and just reading more than like taking in the details of the characters.
These were monthly comics, so they when being made, they assumed you would have a month to like reread and like really absorb the material, not read it very quickly like you have been.
Yeah,
You're gonna be better about that, right?
I'll think about it. I'll put it under consideration.
So Ratchet goes to Delphi, and we meet Pharma, First Aid, and Ambulon. Ambulon's my favorite because he turns into a leg. And he doesn't have any like body / other body parts to go with that. He just turns into a leg. And there's the break. Oh, I forgot Pipes and Drift went with them. We haven't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Pipes gets infected pretty quickly though, so he's down. There's a quarantine going on.
One thing I learned is when you see a big red X on any kind of building, is that's the universal sign for a plague, and not like Pipes soon discovered after seeing that doesn't mean ram here.
Poor Pipes. Yeah, I do like how I'm saying Bidrag X means don't go in there. Come on, guys. But yeah. So the quarantine, you learn, is all orchestrated by Pharma, who turns into a bad guy working for the DJD, selling Autobot and other people's body parts to the DJD because he has an addiction to transforming.
Which I thought that was a little bit of a cool thing to learn, just because that's just something that came out of there, but also then at the same time sounds realistic for for a transformer.
Yeah, I mean, I would love changing shapes too.
Yeah.
Hopefully not that much, but yeah. And in the end, Pharma uh, gets defeated by Ratchet because they infect him and pretty much throw him off a cliff, but not before chopping his hands off, luckily. And during this beginning little bit, we've talked about how, or we, not us, but they in the issue talk about how Ratchet's hands are going. And being a doctor, your hands are the most important thing. So after Pharma loses his hands, Pharma is like a renowned doctor as well, and he gets a fresh new hands that are very well tuned to doctor work.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting bit, just because that just seems weird for like, because I guess I think of them almost as humans and then forget that they're robots with
They do
interchangeable
that.
parts.
That's what I love about these comics. You forget that they're just robots or like a different thing. Then they do shit like that where like, oh, I chopped off his hands. He's like, click, click, new hands.
Yeah, because you couldn't do that with like actual people.
Which I feel like allows a lot more body horror / storytelling devices in it. But yeah, we just went over those two, and that's about all that happened. We got a little bit of. Wait, no. Did we get anything with Rung and Red Alert in these?
There was a little bit about their psychology sessions or therapy
Yes, I
sessions.
almost forgot because that's a setup for the next story arc as well. That Red Alert, the ship security officer, uh, he's very paranoid. He's a paranoid person. So of course you put him in charge of security, right? That's probably some
Yeah.
sort of political statement, but ignoring that, he's been talking with the ship's therapist or psychologist or whatever title it is, and he thinks something funny is going on in the ship.
Which he does seem to have proof for.
Oh yeah, they slow it down, and it's a voice in slow motion saying "kill me" over and over again.
Well, it's does it say kill?
Yeah, it says "kill me, kill me."
Oh, okay. I don't know why I read it as something different. I don't
Are
know
you
how I
looking
did
at it
that, but I
now?
did. Oh no, they have it as me kill, me kill, me kill,
Well, broski.
which I thought I took as kill me, kill me, kill. I was like, oh, that could, but otherwise it could honestly mean kill or me kill. Like it just could be psychotic ravings of a murderer.
Oh, and I almost forgot to mention they introduce another character, and there's just a lot of characters thrown around these first couple bits. They introduced Fortress Maximus, who was in a coma this whole time in the quarantine bay, and when he's awakened, you see he's just a big guy who does not like Decepticons.
He is a big son of a bitch.
Angry too.
And then his just like little opening speech was just like, I was almost killed by some Decepticons that look
just like
similar to you guys. And you just happen to be in the worst place in this universe.
At this moment. And then he proceeded to tear them apart limb from limb.
Yes.
Gotta love those robots being able to make it through sensors. But yeah.
Yeah, it's okay for robots to tear each other apart, but
not people though.
When you have a real living thing.
Yeah, if like I drew a comic of a robot tearing another robot's head off, that's a-okay. If I drew a comic of a man decapitating another man, that's not gonna fly too well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's all to cover. We talked about how the hardlight hologram too is a device that they'll be using after this.
Yeah, except first I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, in Transformers lore, they can make little holograms, and they will be used a little bit in this series. And it's always fun when those pop out, because the projection always looks like the person's personality. And some people have really appropriate looking guys, and some people don't. Wait until you see Worlds. That's all I gotta say.
I hope it's a little girl.
Oh, you're pretty darn close.
I just see like a little girl, blonde hair, pigtails, pink frilly dress.
Well, the color palettes usually match. So Drifts or Whirls, sorry, not Drift. Whirls is still wearing blue.
Okay.
But I think that's all.
I can't wait to get to that.
We have the hologram. We talked about how Drift got the hands for Ratchet, Fortress Maximus, the tailgate part of this story. Yeah, so that's all. Broski, we're going to cover, I think, another 2 for next time.
All right.
And then, yeah, I think we'll do 2 and then 3, looking at the story arcs. So, yeah, next time, guys, read chapters, this was 5, so 6 and 7.
Yep. Better read up, bitches.
All right, this is Tony Corbo.
And this is Michael Broski.
And this is our read along with us, More Than Reads the Eye.
Read up, bitches.
Okay, bye.